Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D models, and this is where we left off. Alright, so now let's think about these parts on here. So I think on this part here, especially, I'm also going to be using some of the actual supports. So let's go back to our asset manager. We'll come to our supports, and I think we'll get those in first. So what I'm going to do is, I've got all of these supports. These are the ones that are angled, so I don't want those. I just want these four. So again, I'm going to bring these in. Can I actually bring them in? Let's have a look. Press tab. Let's bring them in now. 2, 3, and 4. So let's bring those in. Let's delete this one out of the way. And then what we'll do now, we actually want 4. So I'm going to put these 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to make them a little bit uneven because I want actually a window in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press 3. I'm going to bring this up to where I want it. So I'm going to fit that one over there somewhere. I'm going to bring this one up. And I want a window in here, and luckily for us, we actually have the window that I want to put in place, so I can put that in place straight away as well. So I'm going to put that one there, and then I'm going to put this one in this corner here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab each of these. I'm going to press R, Z, and 180. Let's spin them around. You can see there they're spinning around very, very strangely. We don't want that, so let's put on individual origins. R, Z, 180, spin them round, and then S and Z, let's pull them up and make sure that they're going to sit perfectly on where I want them. Okay, so now I can actually pull these into some sort of place. So I'm going to pull these. I'm going to actually focus on this corner one first. So I'm going to pull it into place like so, and then I'm going to pull this one back like so. Let's pull this one back then like so, and then what we'll do is we'll bring this one forward. And what I'm also going to do, I'm just going to steal that one. I'm going to press Shift D. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this roundabout here. So in other words, I'm going to, again, make this a little bit uneven. We don't want things lining up perfectly. So let's put it into here, something like that. And we can see that we're going to have to make this a little bit taller, or it's actually going to sit on the beam here going across. So I'll just pull it up. This is when it gets a little bit finicky, dealing with so many little parts and that. All right, so I think I'm happy with that. Now what we can do is we can actually work on the underneath of here. Let's put our window in first though. I think that'll be a good idea. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this window, Shift D. And the thing is, because this window is facing over here, it's not so obvious when you're looking at it and you're seeing that it's the same UV. So we don't need to worry about this UV. The one window down here, probably have to change the UVs a little bit. So RZ 93, let's put it into place like so. And let's have it a little bit off center as well, and probably a little bit higher like so. All right, let's drop that in place. And what you do is you go all the way back, hold the Shift button, pull it forward just till those lights appear, and that should be absolutely fine. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to put my wooden blocks. So my wooden blocks should be based around these parts here. In other words, these parts here, I should be moving them across to be in line with these wooden blocks, which are going to be the supports for them. We can see here as well that I just need to pull this one down just a little bit like so, move this one across, and there we go. Okay, so let's bring in then some wooden supports to actually come and drop on the bottom of here, and then we can move these up a little bit. So I'm going to go to my wooden blocks. Let's go for the 2.5 meter one. So let's drop that in there. Let's drop that one in there, and then we'll shrink them both down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this one across, press 3. I'm going to bring it up and just drop it at the bottom of there. And then what I'm going to do is push it back. So I'm going to push it back into place. And you can see now how that's actually going to work. Let's pull it up a little bit more. And it wants to be right at the bottom of here, supporting this in this way. So it doesn't matter if the other parts of wood are a little bit higher up than that. And let's pull this up now. So pull it up a little bit. So it just sits on there. Okay, perfect. Now let's do the same thing with this one. So we're going to pull this one back. Where is it? Into this one here. There we go. And you'll see why we're doing this and why we're trying to just add a little bit of realism to how actually things are supported. So let's pull this back like so. Okay, that's looking pretty nice. Now let's do the outside parts. So what I'll do is I'll grab this one, Shift D. And then what I'll do is I'll spin it round. So RZ 180. And there we go. And let's pull this one back a little bit, making sure that this is sat on there. So we can pull it up a little tiny bit, holding Shift button again. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Now let's think about the other side. So again, I'm going to grab this one this time, Shift D, bring it over, and then RZ 180, spin it round, like so. And there you can see that's looking really, really beautiful actually. Okay, and there we go. Let's pull that one up. Now, I don't want this one going all the way from there, so I'm actually going to shrink this down. So S and X, let's shrink it down a little bit. Let's pull it out, S and X. Shrink it down, double tap the A, and there we go. Okay, happy with that. Now let's think about the bars going across here. So what we'll do is, and also I want my wall going under there, but let's put these bars in first. So we're going to grab, let's see how big the 1 meter one is. So let's bring that one, and then the 1.5 meter one. And I think we can use these. Going to grab them all. So RZ 90. I'm going to pull them up then, and they're nearly into place as you can see. 3, let's come to this one first, and what we want to do is we want to place it around here and then pull it out. So S and Y, let's pull it out into place like so, and let's do the same now with this one. So let's pull it into place and then S and Y. And a little bit closer then. And then this one here, let's pull it out. We just don't want to make sure there's too much stretching on this one. So let's just be careful of that, or mindful of that. Like so, double tap the A. And actually think that's going to be fine on this one. So now I'm just going to pull them back into place. Just making sure they're not too far out. As you can see here, this one's a little bit, they are a little bit too far out. This one looks okay. All right, that looks perfect. Now let's grab one of these walls. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab it, Shift D. We don't need to worry about UV unwrapping this again. RY 90, and the reason is they're never going to see into that space there really. In other words, it just wants to be there just to fill in that gap. So as you can see, fill in this gap here. Let's pull it out a little bit. So S and Y. Like so, and then we'll just bring it over. So Shift D, bring it over, and then S and Y, and then let's spin it round. So RZ 180, spin it round like so. Okay, so we've pretty much got the underside of here done, as you can see. What we need to do now is put in the supporting parts. So these parts here, I think that would be a good idea. And then what we'll do is we'll work on this top bit on here before putting the roof on. So we'll basically get all of this finished, going all the way across here. And then we'll do a little bit of broken walls down this part here. And I'm thinking then we can actually finally finish with putting this first roof on. Because we've got planks and we've got a roof. So I think we should do that. So the first thing I think we should do, let's put the top on here. So we'll just put a top on here because that's not actually going to be that hard. So I'm going to press Shift D on this one. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to spin it round. So R, Y, 480. Let's spin it round. Just make sure, as you can see, because we've done the same thing there, that we want to spin it round again. So RZ 180, spin it round again. And just make sure that it's a little bit different from them all. We don't want it looking the same, in other words. Let's pull it out then. So S and Y. Let's pull it out a little bit. Let's get it right into that part there. And let's also make sure, you can see here that it's a little bit out, but here it's even. So let's just press R and X and just rotate it slowly up a little bit, like so. And you'll find doing things like that makes such a huge difference. All right, so that's in there. Now let's think about bringing this this part around here. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one up. So Shift D. And then I'm going to press R, X, 180. Hopefully that was 180. So let's have a look. They still look the same. So R, X, 180. Spin it round. R, Z, 180. Spin it round that way. And I just want them looking a little bit different from each other. let's pull it up now. And let's actually bring it into place. So you can see again, we've got a problem where it needs bending slightly. So we'll bend it. So our Y, we'll bend it slightly like so. And there we go. Double tap the A. And the other thing is I don't really want this bit overhanging because our roof's actually going to be there. So I'm going to make sure that it's pretty much going to be level with this. Now, forget about this part here. We don't need to worry too much about that. What we need to do now is, though, we need to get a nice long piece going across here. So let's actually bring that in. So it's going to be a 3-meter piece. RZ 90. Let's bring that in and let's pull it up and drop that into place. Like so. And I'm thinking, I'm not too concerned with them overhanging too far, but we can see that they do need picking up a little bit. And some of them, like this one especially, need a little bit of work just to make sure that they're not too big. So S and Z. And let's drop it down a little bit. Like so. And there we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this piece come into right to here. And then I'll have another piece. So Shift D, bring in another piece. And then spin it round. So RZ 180. Make it smaller. So S and Y. And just so those two pieces join up, as you can see. So we want them joining up here, and then we're just going to make this one, I think, a little bit smaller as well. So S and Z, shrink it down. Maybe let's have a look. Might be a little bit too much, that. So let's pull it down just a slight bit, and then S and Z. There we go. Double tap the A. Yeah, and there we go. That's looking pretty good, except these walls. All right, so let's pull these walls back now into place. And we just want to make sure that we haven't got them going all the way over there. So finally then what we'll do is we'll just turn on X-ray. I'm going to come in, grab these two, and then just pull them back. Like so. We're going to have a piece of wood going over there. As long as it's tucked into that bit, that's absolutely fine. All right, so as I said, on the next lesson then, we can get these parts finished. And finally we can probably, and this part here, and finally then we can make a start on this roof. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.